because of streaming licensing issues, we're not going to play the music, but we did send it to you on Apple and Spotify both. Thank you to Kathleen Stress for doing that for me last time. You guys are amazing. But anyway, that playlist is there. If you didn't get the link, if you search for Dining Inside Out on Apple or Spotify, you will find it. This is the May edition, although I think Luke is still in love with the first playlist that we did. So just saying. Kelly, is Luke still doing his hair? Like what could possibly be happening?
He's walking the puppy.
Oh,
okay, that makes sense.
Okay, now I understand. All right.
We both know he doesn't have enough hair for it to take.
No, well, he told me earlier. I'm like, you got 45 minutes. He's like, I got to do my hair and shave. I'm like, yeah, it's like this.
Yeah. Well, ask him how long it is, considering the.
Well, true.
He does need a haircut, Sarah.
Yeah, no, I do too. I know, I understand. My eyebrows are going to take over my face soon.
Amanda. Yep. So I think we're caught up. If you're still waiting for a table, and you know the table assignment, go ahead and put it in chat. If you're just hanging out with us, it's totally fine. It looks like almost all of our tables have guests except for table 6, which is exciting because that means that we basically filled them all, which is good.
Which is awesome.
Table 25 for Ramona. 1 second, Ramona. I will get you there. And table 15 for Jamie King. 1 second, Jamie. There you go.
Hi, Barry. Welcome.
Possible for Mark Huber and I to be placed at 6. That maybe, actually. Sarah, do you have an assignment for table 6?
Did I just skip it? Hang on 1 second. Let me check.
If there's nobody there, I could potentially seat those folks there.
Yep, I'm with you. I sent out 40 emails, group emails this morning for table reservations. So let me just get back to the 5th one, and I'll go. 7. Can you hear the cars outside?
They're not bad. It doesn't come through too bad.
Okay. Table 6 should be Dennis Coughlin and I think Jeremy Haggis.
I do see Jeremy Haggis. I don't see Dennis yet.
So maybe just pop Jeremy, or at least give him the option.
I'll give him the assignment if he wants it.
Yep. And then any further tables we can add a little bit later.
Yep, I will add them.
Margaret and Robert, did you want to go to your table? I gave you one with a bunch of people.
We're going to stay out here.
Okay, I love it. Brilliant. What did you do with the potato? That's what I want to know.
I'll be using it in some soup.
Okay, fabulous. I'm glad it went to a good home.
I'll be returning to that recipe too.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Chad, I'm going to pop up and close the windows and let Kitty inside, and okay. I will be right back.
No problem. Oh, a couple more people are waiting in the waiting room. We'll bring them in. Chris Johnson, hello, sir. If you just joined us and you happen to know your table assignment, if you pop it in the chat, I will move you where you're supposed to go right away. better with lighting. Looks better with lighting. It's not so dark. So there are about 23 of us sitting in the main room. Again, this is basically like the waiting room if you were waiting to sit at your table at the restaurant. So if you don't have a table and you're hanging out in the waiting room and you guys want to pipe up and chat with each other at this point, for right now, we have about 20 minutes before we kick off. You're welcome to do that. All I ask is that if Sarah or I happen to pipe up to ask a question, just be mindful of that. But otherwise, have at it. We've got about 20 minutes until we kick things off.
Looks like Michael John Haggerty is joining us. Hello, Michael. Welcome.
God damn,
so-
that blue cheese was funky.
Really? I haven't had it yet. Is it super funky?
Oh, it's
I mean,
funky.
they called it bougie blue, so I mean, it should probably be funky.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay, you're a blue cheese fan though?
Yeah, I like extra funky stuff.
I'm a blue
Right.
cheese fan, but I need something to cut it with, like a piece of meat or something, because it was.
I
just
get that.
great.
I get
I'm
that.
going to pop out and just help Luke with something real quick. Sidonia did raise her hand, although I'm not sure if she actually needs something.
I
Yes,
think.
I,
Go ahead.
are you're speaking to Sedona, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What is a breakout room? That I don't understand.
That's your table. So that's Zoom's technology for your private table.
Okay.
So so we have you assigned to one so that when Chris signs in, that you go
Okay.
to a breakout room with him.
Okay.
So when that happens, it'll just be the two of you chatting and we won't see you. So you can talk about all the things that you don't want us to know.
I do
Okay.
5 Zoom meetings a week, and this is just a little bit different.
I understand. This is a big one. Most people are not accustomed to this many people in one Zoom.
That's it.
I get it.
Thanks, Drew. You thought I didn't see that, right?
Well, I wanted you to see it.
Well, I did.
Contact high.
Oh my God.
It's just nicotine. Don't worry.
Mm.
Cut out the cigarettes a long time ago.
So,
I have 2 sons, so I know all about that.
so Sarah, what would you recommend to do with like the blue cheese if it's too funky for him? Like ways to use it in other dishes.
Put it with the jam. Put it with the jam. It totally needs the jam, in my opinion. That is too funky for me. Sorry. I'm sorry. So I'm personally a fan of Northland Sheep Dairies. I mean, I love Old Chatham's cheese. I've never had this blue, so that was an interesting thing. But I love their camembert is what we normally use in restaurants. But Northland Sheep Dairies Black Mule Blue is a sheep's milk cheese. And that is like, I'm sorry, but it's sex in cheese form. It's fantastic. It's the best blue cheese I've ever had in my life. And Barry's sitting in here right now, and I didn't plug any of his cheese, and I feel the shame right now.
Don't worry about it, Sarah. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces and names as they're coming through.
Good.
Mary Rose's cheeses from Northland are
Yes,
amazing.
dude.
If you can deal with sheep and milk sheep, it's the most amazing milk and that you can get for cheese making.
Yeah, that cheese. I was dairy free for 5 years. I couldn't eat cheese, and it was one of the worst times of my life. But when I tasted that cheese for the restaurant, I normally would spit these things out. I was like crying because I had to spit it out. I was so upset.
Her stuff is amazing. She's an
Yeah.
artist.
Barry, I would say that your halloumi cheese from the farm box last week was game over. It was just the most amazing that I've had. And
I haven't had the halloumi yet.
Oh, Sarah.
I need to get in on that.
We flat top griddled it and
yeah.
had some spicy honey with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's my favorite. I gained like 15 pounds when I first started making that cheese.
I love it.
Yeah. We're we're gonna keep going through that. Your burrata though is also fantastic.
Any burrata. I mean, good burrata.
Barry's got that good burrata.
We have cheese problems in this channel.
Barry, what's your label?
This
Two
is
kids
Barry's
go to
label.
farm.
Yeah, we actually just had a whole thing of milk from there earlier that we got from a different restaurant.
Oh yeah, the
There
two
you go.
kids. Oh, okay, yeah,
we
yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah. Out in Pompey, right?
You're muted, Barry.
Fabius.
There you go. There you
Oh.
go.
I'm sorry. I know you Pompey and Fabius people don't like to be grouped together.
It's true.
My mailing is actually Kyler, which is nobody knows where Kyler is.
I also don't know where that is.
Yeah, our farm is located in Fabius.
Okay.
We look out our front window at Toggenburg, and my backyard is Highland Forest.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's an easy place to social distance.
That's awesome. Luke, you're back. You okay?
I am here. I'm sorry I'm late. It turns out feeding 300 people in 300 different places is not that easy.
No kidding. I'm sorry, Chef.
The hard part's over, I think.
I think so. Did you open the bottle of wine? Because it's difficult.
I went right for bourbon.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I pre-gamed a little bit.
We're not messing around.
Well, I mean, when Chris Johnson drops a bottle off at your house, you don't say no.
Yeah.
The whiskey trail for tonight. Is that
We're
what
on the
you're,
whiskey trail.
Wilderness trail.
Yeah, the
Wilderness
wilderness trail is what I had a little of. Just a small amount before my shower so I could chill out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for quarantine to lift so I can have some of this Weller antique that's a couple $100 a bottle that I was nice enough to get a sample from somebody on. And
Chris,
but I'm really
meant
excited
to
to rip into this.
I
Long shot.
got a lead on Weller Antique at $80 a bottle.
That's pretty awesome.
was waiting for that.
Hey.
Johnson, when you
I'm quitting my client.
when you got here today, did it feel like the grand opening at the Bryan Well when it was just absolute sheer panic and you're just like, oh, there's boxes in this car. What's your name? I'm gonna take them out.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what all of this is, right? You know, it's,
But
it's adapting
yeah.
to adapting, and yeah.
But it was amazing because it was like legit like an opening day at a restaurant for
Yeah.
like it reminded me of the Bryan Well. Like, I don't know, BLTs, just take them. Like, go. I don't know.
Yeah, it's here. You take this one. You take this one.
Right.
Thanks for coming in. Leave your review. Bye.
Totally.
Like,
Bye. What was
we've got
really
things
funny
to
is
do.
so one of my I, you know, as a chef, you have runners in certain restaurants. So they're just the people that take food to the table, right? So we missed 2 boxes to Utica today, and we got them there just to the Van Slikes. Hopefully they're in their table. They've got a big one. So we missed their boxes. And so Luke's like, who do we have that we can send? And I literally called one of my old runners, Brendan, to run food to Utica, which was awesome. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, no, I can do this. Like, what do you need me to wear? Like, okay, great.
A mask and
Or whatever
gloves.
you want.
Yeah.
Yes, because he did wear a mask and gloves, but otherwise, like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
I would say, you know, the like, you know, third level of unsung heroes that nobody's talking about right now are food delivery people.
Totally.
You know, chefs are smashing it. All of our frontline healthcare workers and other essential employees. But like, how many times do you sit there and just be like, thank you, food delivery person? You know, if it's from the restaurant itself. I know there's a big uproar about Grubhub and DoorDash and those kind of things. Feel free to DM me and we can talk about that offline, but we're not going to do it here. But it's, you know, it's just amazing to see, you know, how fast a lot of people have jumped on that train to be able to offer food delivery, or that do, like, you know, Luke's been doing it for years and be able to have that infrastructure in place to not miss a beat with
home meal delivery. It's been really great to see.
So I just want to take a minute to answer the Tim. Hello, Tim, chef. So Barry's Cheese Company is called Two Kids. I'm sure that you've heard of it. And he's actually going to be speaking with us here in a little bit. I have the program open, I swear. He is after the first course goes out. Barry's going to do a little bit of a chat. I asked for baby goats. They're not happening, but I'm just saying. We asked.
That's awesome. I've heard of his cheeses, but never tasted any of them. So.
Oh, really? Wow, look at all that facial hair you've got going on. What is happening up there?
Yeah, it's a quarantine. Not up here, a lot down here.
He was totally different.
I think a lot of people are growing their hair out right now.
I mean,
I have no
don't have a
idea what you're
choice.
talking about.
Are you going to explain the cheeses?
We are going to explain the cheeses. So we'll get there on the in between the second and third courses, or I'm sorry, in between the first and second courses, we will talk about the cheeses, and then we'll let Barry chat about them as well.
And for those of you that may have just popped in, because I know there's some folks getting late to the cocktail hour, if you do have a table that you know you're supposed to be sitting at and you didn't automatically go there, if you just pop it in the chat, I'll go ahead and get you moved to that table right away. Same thing for you, Jennifer. I know you just joined the main meeting. If you had a table assignment and you know what it is, if you pop it in the chat, I will go ahead and get you to that table right away.
Chad, if you want to move Kelly Robertson to the chef's table and Madeline Minicozy to the chef's table, then they can chat about their delivery experiences today.
Got it. They're all set.
Awesome. Thank you.
Dennis to table 6.
Yes.
1 second, Dennis.
That they were.
All right, Dennis is all set.
So speaking of delivery, how do you guys ship them? With dry ice or something? Or
We added ice packs and some, we had some insulation in there. We are, one of my other business partners is Joe Dunaway from Knife Hand Nutrition, and we are a frozen food company. We ship all across the country. So we definitely utilized Joe, and we learned a lot with this shipping experience. We shipped, I think, 25 boxes or so. And one landed to my girl in Arizona perfectly fine today, and another one didn't get to Poughkeepsie until Monday. So Elva, sorry. So we bought her food from a takeout restaurant in Poughkeepsie because we didn't know what else to do. But yeah.
Poughkeepsie's not that far. You could have drove it.
I mean,
We didn't find out till 5 o'clock.
We didn't find out till 5 o'clock, because don't think that Luke for a second that Luke wasn't like looking it up, like how far, 150 miles, like I can't do it, like, and he would have, he totally would have.
Well, supply chains are completely strained right now, so it's not
Totally. I mean, just shipping alone is pretty intense. Oh, Maddie is alone in the breakout room apparently. Okay.
Oh well.
All
where should she
by
be?
myself. She should be in the chef's table.
Oh,
She should be at chef's table with Mitchell Berger and Kelly Robertson, but they might not have gone down there.
no, they didn't. They're she's all by herself. One more time, just for folks that just joined, if you know your table assignment, pop it in the chat. I will get you there right away.
So major shout out to Joe Dunaway for hooking us up with shipping and helping us through all the things and talking about how we need to fix it before it was even out.
Yeah.
Peter and Nancy are all set.
I'll come back on when you're on.
Here.
Madeline, is that because she was by herself?
Possibly.
Yeah, no, sorry, Madeline. It did work, but you were the only one that joined the table. Everybody else saw the thing pop up on their screen and said, "To hell with that! I'm not going anywhere." And so, I'm really sorry, but you were the only one that followed instructions. So,
I don't know what that says about your friendship.
That's because one, Maddie's an upholder. That's what she does. She follows instructions. And Mitchell and Kelly are probably just like, what does this even mean? Like, why do I have to leave the main room? Okay. We got about 8 minutes until we're going to get going and running through the program. So if you have a table assignment that you would like to be at, or if you know that you booked a table and you want to sit with your friends, please check your email. I did mention shipping, Joe. I definitely did. And it was a total shout out to you. Also, I'm reading chat from my phone. So if you're sending me a private message, I'm probably going to read it out loud, just as I just did. Everything arrived just fine for the most part. I mean, Lindsay in Arizona got her box just fine. Everything was still cold, so color me impressed. Maryland got their box just fine. The only one that didn't happen was in Poughkeepsie, of all places. The LaGrangeville, New York, is not going to get there until Monday, but I'll deal with that tomorrow, so no worries. It's all good. We got her food, like she's covered. She's got a great friend here, so. This is the quietest 40 people have ever been in their lives.
When did we ship out the one to Poughkeepsie
Lauren
yesterday?
just joined, and so she's
No, 2 days
but
ago.
she didn't want to be on camera, so she's sitting off to the side, and she's like, "Can they hear me?" And I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "She's like, all right, just tell me when they can and can't hear me." I'm like, "Okay." So she's not going to talk. Well,
I don't want to laugh. You're doing fine. No worries. No
Plus, I
worries.
mean, you already know I had one meltdown with the kids.
I know. I know. Listen, you're
Now
not
everybody
alone, Lauren.
knows.
You're not alone.
I know.
I mean, you are home with kids for however many weeks this has been. I mean, I saw Maria Rotella today with her kids, and she just looked at me like, they're not doing school. Like, what? Ever? Like, it's never coming back. This is it. This is it. This is my life.
we calculated it on our walk. It's 16 weeks to go. We've already had 6 weeks at home.
Oh, I don't think we should talk about
weeks
it.
on top of that, so it's 22 weeks. So basically, yeah, it's
Which, like I told you, overall, I think we've had like 3 bad days. So like I can't.
No, I know the kids are amazing. Like, you got great kids. You're doing fine.
I can't complain, but man, on this bad day, it just felt big.
I totally understand. I see. Okay, so some people are coming back. Okay, great.
I'm gonna send a message to the room and just let them know 5 minutes until
5 minutes. Yep. Okay, great.
So they can all be talking to their tables, right?
Correct. They're at separate tables. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the cool table.
I mean,
this
we're
is
at the
the
big
cool
table right now.
This is the main table. Yeah. Lauren's never done this before, so she's having first time jitters,
Don't worry. So is Luke. He ran off the camera.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. I don't want to. Yeah.
Hi, Krista. Can your cat please make an appearance, please? That'd be just lovely. Yes, yes. We need more cat videos in the world.
Melissa, I think you just joined. If you know your table you're supposed to be at, if you pop it in the chat, I'll get you moved over right away.
So Vicky
Is that why
should
they're
be
so
with
few?
the Van Slikes.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, they're all in other rooms.
Oh, cool.
Table 20. All right, 1 second. Got it.
You want to go in with April?
Luke, you want us to move Kelly?
Yeah, can you put her in with April?
Chad, can we move? Chad, you're doing a great job.
No,
Can
I know.
we
I was
move-
muted. I was talking to
Oh,
Lauren.
you're
What do
fine.
you need?
Can we move Kelly Knapp to, I'm looking, to April Deus and Amber King's table? I think they're in a mixer.
Oh, yes. 1 second.
And what am I looking at? Hold on, I gotta find you.
Got it. All set.
Kitty.
I don't,
Harry and Tessa Levi are joining us.
Is there a kitty? There is a kitty. I see it.
Oh. Oh my God, look at him. He's so
Oh,
cute.
That's
wow.
adorable.
Beauty.
What a love, Anne. What a love.
I feel like sad or something, don't you? Like, what do we do? Do you want to see Luke? Look.
Luke, we can hear all of that, just so you know.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. It sounds emotional. I'm just saying. We're connecting. That's some folks from Old Forge connecting with some folks in Auburn right now, which is pretty cool. Okay, so while we have 50 people in here, I'm going to take a minute to talk about some of the cheeses that we sent out. So if you did get the cheese box and you've been enjoying that through the cocktail hour, I know we're not officially starting, but I'll just take this time to explain where some of the things
No, I'm
came
gonna
from.
close the rooms yet.
You can wait the 2 minutes, let them have their time.
Okay.
They're not here for me, let's be serious.
There you go.
Okay, so in this box, we shipped out, so we sourced some sharp cheddar from Steyburn Farm, which is the hardest cheese place to spell in the world. I mean, just ridiculous. Anyway, they're out of Rockstream, New York, which is on Route 14, just down the street from Glenora. So I'm very familiar with them. They are very small, but really great cheddars is what they specialize in, and cheese curds. So hopefully you are enjoying that one. Belciello, yes. From Miranda Cheese, which I've had lots of cheese from Miranda, but I've never had that one. I think I just tasted it. I think that's the thin one.
It is, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, so that's like an Alpine style cheese to me.
It's Asiago provolone mix.
Oh, okay, so that explains that like kind of soft texture going on.
Yeah.
Like in the center. Ciabatta bread from Chef Luke Houghton, which is some bloke we found on the street. And we also put in your boxes. Some people got plum jam. So if you got jam from Pure, it is plum. I know Lindsay Mellon loved that. That we made over the summer from fruit from Red Jacket Orchards in Geneva. And some people got pickled peppers. So hopefully if you like spicy, you got peppers. And I don't remember where we got the peppers with the farm. It was, I don't know, September.
It came from Brent.
It came from where? Brent. Okay. So Finger Lakes Farms, somewhere in the Finger Lakes. Chev is coming from Two Kids, and Barry is here with us. He's going to chat with us in a bit about his cheese and his goat farm. And then we also brought in Bougie Blue from Old Chatham Creamery in Groton, New York. They have 2 locations now. So they're also actually in Old Chatham in the Hudson Valley. And we know them for their Camembert, but this was our first round with their Bougie Blue. I think you picked it for the name, didn't you, Luke?
It was all that I was offered.
Wow.
On short notice.
Okay. On short notice, right.
But it's really good cheese.
It is. It's super funky. I think it needs the plum jam.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Very good. No, really? You're more of a wuss when it comes to blue than I am.
Yeah, it's surprising.
I'm surprised.
So,
Yeah.
the funny thing is the reason they moved up here is because the milk up here is better. That was the reason.
That makes
for moving
sense.
it. And more readily available.
Okay, yeah, maybe more. I could see that.
I'm ready to pull folks back in if you guys are ready.
Do it.
All right, here we go. Rooms will close in 28 seconds. They have a 30-second timer.
Your disappointment is palpable.
You have 20 seconds to continue talking about cheese before we kick this thing off.
Okay. Any other questions about the cheese? You're welcome to put in the chat. Maddie is moderating the chat, so if there's something that pops up that we don't get a chance to answer in the moment, and yes, I am. Anyway, if we don't get a chance to answer that in the moment, we will answer in the live Q&A at the end. I'm going to walk through the program as soon as everybody gets back in here. 137 devices. We got to be close. Okay. So welcome everyone to Dining Inside Out, the May edition. Although we say that like we're not going to do another one in May, and it's not true. But we're not going to talk about that just yet. So the program for tonight, you just experienced the cocktail hour. I hope that you enjoyed your time with your friends and family. We are connecting people all across the country this time, which is super cool. Shout out to my girls in Arizona and Maryland and Corning, New York, who got to have a private conversation over cheese. And they were all eating the same cheese. It's crazy. Anyway, okay, so my name is Sarah Hassler. I run Hassler Hospitality Group, which basically is a company that helps people in the food and beverage arena build walls out of their ideas and pop up new concepts, relaunch, rebrand. We do a lot of different things from marketing to logistics to brand, etc. And I'm also happen to be a chef. That's how I started. Also here with us tonight is my partner in Dining Inside Out, Chef Luke Houghton of Pure Catering and Events, Pure Market and Eatery, and Pure at Home Meal Delivery Service. If you're not in on the Provisions by Pure Meal Deliveries, you should be. Follow them on Facebook. We also have with us Chef Chance Bear, which I haven't seen him yet. I know that he is operating his restaurant. So he is operating the Link Lane House, and they are doing full-scale takeout service and busy and also very short-staffed due to some illnesses. So it's a tough time to be a chef and be operating. At least at a takeout spot. And then finally, we also have with us pastry chef Hannah Covello, who is just a gem of a chef. And I'm so glad to have met her. She is a two-time grad of the Culinary Institute of America. She specializes in wines, beers, and all things sweet. So she is our chef for the dessert course tonight. Final introductions. Chris Johnson is here with us, and I'm going to send it over to him in just a moment. He's going to be doing a cocktail demonstration of an old-fashioned cocktail featuring Last Shots Bourbon. That's a local bourbon here in New York, along with Farmer Street Pantry's spiced cherries, natural sugar cubes, and blood orange bitters from Finger Lakes Harvest. They do fruit shrubs and bitters, and they are all natural, organic, and full of antioxidants. So you might as well get that in while you're having a libation. And also, I know I'm missing some people. Barry Sparrett is coming in to talk about his goat cheese at around 7:25. And we also have Phil Aris with us from Damiani Wine Cellars to chat with us about the two wines that we paired tonight. That's the MC Squared and the Bollicini, the sparkling wine from Damiani Wine Cellars that's on Seneca Lake, near Watkins Glen. I don't remember the exact town right now, but I'm sure that you'll tell us, Phil. Anyway, all right, so Chris, are you ready?
Sarah, can I interrupt for a second?
Absolutely.
You forgot the glue that holds this whole thing together.
Are we talking about Madeline Minicozy? Because I already know, like, but.
Well, we forgot her too, but most importantly
Chad?
right now with Chad.
Okay, sorry. So I do want to give a quick shout out to Chad Hassler, who's also here with us, who happens to be my older brother. So naturally, I'm going to forget him. Just he's not even he's barely a person. I mean, no, we could not do this without him. And I thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow, that was very sincere.
Listen, I meant it. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people. I had a list.
You're doing a great job. Keep going.
Thanks. Yes. Okay. So Chris Johnson, are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll. Let's knock this out of the park. I'm ready to
on you, sir.
show everybody how to make the perfect old fashioned tonight. And Sarah, thanks so much for the introduction. As you mentioned, from We Eat CNY, my wife Kate Johnson and I run We Eat CNY for probably about the last a little bit over the last 2 years. And what started as a way to tell people where to go out to eat or get out of your rut if you're eating at the same places has turned into a full-scale marketing company where we work with restaurants and operations like Luke's out at Provisions by Pure in Auburn, Pascal's, and a host of other places that we do photography, social media, and website work for. And we've also run cocktail classes. And so I was gracious to host the last event when Sarah and Luke invited me to do that, and when they asked me to come back on and host a cocktail portion of it with local purveyors. I was like, yes, let's totally do this. So tonight we're going to work with Last Shots bourbon whiskey. We're going to work with Farmer Street Pantry's spiced cherries, and then we're also going to work with geez, Sarah, I forgot it already. Finger Lakes
Harvest. There
we go. I had it all in my head beforehand and rehearsed.
It's all good.
It all flows out the window when the camera's on you. And so I want to give you guys just a quick lesson in whiskey because I think it's super important. So there's two big classifications of whiskey that you're gonna see out there. There's bourbon whiskey and there's rye whiskey, and they're very different. And I want to thank Nick Pascal for teaching me the difference between the two. If you don't follow them already, Between Two Barrels, they've got great whiskey content if that's your thing. But bourbon and rye are differentiated because of the mash bill that's in there. So what goes into it? And rye tends to be a little bit spicier, a little bit pepperier. So if you like that, then go for it. Bourbon tends to be a little bit more caramelly and vanilla and sweeter on that. So if that's what you're into, definitely try it out. What I would mention, if you just want to kind of try out some whiskeys, you want a really good glass. A Glencairn glass is a great way to start out trying whiskeys. It really gets you into the nose of it, so you can smell what's on the front, and then you can taste the palate. So it's really an experience, much like wine tasting is. So if you're into whiskey, try it out. There's a lot of different ones that are available out there. This is the second time I've been on camera to make a cocktail. And thanks, Matt Reed, for having me on your Spatchcock Funk show over the summer. So let's get down to making an old fashioned. So as I talked to Matt before about it, when you're really making a cocktail, the most important thing, in my opinion, is repeatability. And for those that have baked in the past, whether it was bread that my wife was baking over the last couple of weeks, or if you're making cookies or cupcakes, it's like a science, and I treat cocktail making like a science. So one of the most important things that I think that you can get, which you can probably just get on Target or Amazon, so it doesn't really matter, is a jigger. So this gives you your measurements for half ounce, full ounce, 1.5, and 3 ounces. And we're probably gonna go a little bit wild and over whiskey our drink tonight. So if that's the case, then bear with me. A couple of things that we're gonna do. So to make an old fashioned first, if you're playing along at home, I want you to take out one of your natural sugar cubes that came in your cocktail box. There's a couple of different ways that you can do this. Some people like to make it right in the glass that they're gonna drink it. I don't. I like to be able to strain everything out. I'm going to move some stuff around real quick on here. But what I want you to do, I'm going to make it in here first, is toss that sugar cube right down in the bottom of whatever you want to mix it in. I'm going to do 2 because I feel like I want it a little bit sweet tonight. The next thing that you want to do is you're going to measure out. Normally it's 2 ounces of this Last Shot distillery whiskey, but we're gonna get a little heavy-handed in there tonight because we're gonna have some fun. So what you wanna do is, in here, I've got the 1.5 line. We're gonna go 1.5. Normally it calls for 2 ounces. We're gonna go a little bit in there, a little bit more. I messed
Chris,
this up
what
already.
what is that that you're pouring it into? Just curious.
So this is just, you can get, a nice big mixing glass. I don't know the technical term for it.
You don't need the technical term. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I messed this up already, so I'm going to restart because why not? And save that one for later.
Right.
I apologize. So what we
it does
want
look
to
like
do,
a beaker, Sandra. It does.
Yeah, something like, I got it at Target. It was like $12.99. I don't remember. Shout out to Target. We're gonna put our cubes back in there. Thank you all for humoring me in this.
You're doing great, Chris. Don't worry.
With the bitters, normally it calls for 3 dashes, and that's fine. what you have is a little bit difficult to understand what 3 dashes would be. So whatever you feel like, just a little bit. What the point of this is going to be is that you're going to take whatever you want to use to muddle it. And again, shout out to Target, Amazon, wherever you might go. You don't need a local muddler, but you're going to take this and you're going to grind this this natural sugar in the cubes and the bitters into a little bit of a paste. I was a little bit heavy-handed, so there's with the bitters, so there's a little bit less of a paste. If you want to get super fancy, the other thing that you can do is there was an orange that was included in there. So you can take 2 thin slices of orange. I just kind of corded out a slice. You can mash that down in there with your muddler. If you're using a regular glass, something like this, you could probably use the backside of a spoon or a fork would help you out. Sarah,
You can also start with, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, in your opinion, you know, what else could you use to muddle?
You could, I mean, you could
when
start
you're
with
in
sugar
glass?
packets. Like you don't have to go into the straight cubes. We just went old school to make it difficult for you, Chris, because I really wanted to see
Yeah.
this.
You have to have fun, right? Nobody ever
Totally.
said like, I started off the night having a boring cocktail. It was like, I started off the night having this great cocktail and I wanted to have a really good time after that. If you have a cocktail spoon, something like this, you know where I got it from. If you want to add just a little bit of that Farmer Street Pantry juice from the cherries, that's another thing that you could do.
So the point of the muddling is to release the oils that are on the outside of the orange, so the essential oils, and that's really where the flavor is coming from. And you're
Yes.
muddling that, you're mashing that together with the sugar, and the abrasiveness of the sugar is actually like going to help to bring some of those oils back out. And combining that with the bitters, which is what makes you want to take another sip, by the way, that bitter taste in the back is like, that it doesn't hit until the end, and it makes you want to go back for more. So all kind of important parts, but a really classic cocktail for a reason, because it is so layered in the flavors.
Yes, thank you. You always do the best job of the science behind chefing and cocktail making. And one of the things that I love hanging out with you so much is being able to learn that knowledge. So thank you for jumping in on that one. I totally appreciate it, because I did
You're
not
doing
know
an
all of that.
amazing job. Good.
So the next thing that I always like to do too is I want to add my ice in my where I'm going to mix it first, and I don't drink from this ice. We're going to go back and we're going to hit up that last shot bourbon one more time and do it right this time. So bear with me one more time.
That's a super fun jigger. I've never used one with a handle before.
Yeah, most of them you can find. I think I have one too, because if you have one jigger, you might as well get a second one. That you might see it in a bar
Right.
when your mixologist is doing it. They'll like hold it between 2 fingers and they'll backhand pour it
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
a little bit fancy. I don't have time for that tonight because
No,
I
you're
want you
doing
guys
great.
to drink and have a great time. I'm just gonna think what I think that 3 ounces is real quick.
So typically 3 ounces is going to be a 4 count. I mean, for me, but doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you don't want to stir it, I like to stir my cocktails. I know that James Bond might say shaken not stirred, whatever. But I learned a while ago, and you can ask Matt, we talked about this, that the best cocktails when it's on ice, you want to stir it 100 times. Again, I'm not going to make a sip through that, but you want to be able to fully distribute without like so much melting and getting your cocktail watered down. You want to just cool the contents that are in there. The other thing that you can do, and there's a huge, in my opinion, misconception about the right cocktail equipment to get when you're trying to get like a mixer. A lot of people get like that one piece thing that has the top on it. It raise your hand in chat if you tried to make a cocktail with that and the top gets stuck or the middle part gets stuck and you're trying to run it under hot water. It just doesn't look cool. It doesn't impress your friends when you're trying to mix a cocktail. So the 2-piece metal ones, and if you're going to shake a cocktail, you want to basically make it so it's just freezing on the outside. And you want to shake it so much that you don't really hear the ice rattling around in there anymore. And then when it's always do the smaller part on the top and the larger part on the bottom. And then when you're ready, you're gonna hit it right at this inflection point, and so then it pops the top right back off. So just another little bit. Yeah, I went with mixing basically because I talked with Kate beforehand and I said, do I mix, do I stir? And she goes, whichever one isn't going to cause you problems on there.
Really?
I might have said I just don't want to look like an idiot, but I think I always prove myself.
You're doing great.
On that
You're
one.
doing great.
So the next thing that you want to do is you want to get a strainer because you might have some orange pulp in there. If you elected to add some cherries in at the beginning and you wanted to muddle those, you might get a little bit of some of the extra cherry in there that you don't want to drink in. The other part of it is always making sure that you have good ice. One of my favorite things about ice, I'm sorry if my sound quality dropped, I think my AirPods went down.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay, cool, just one of them. Is the ice. I like a nice big clear ice ball. Again, I grabbed these on Amazon. This took me about 3 years to find the right one. But these ice cubes look nice and clear. We're just gonna drop that in like so. It just adds to the fancy, right? If you've got friends over, like, yeah, your friends love you and everything, but you still always want to one-up them in whatever you do. There is a subtle, like, you don't.
I don't agree with this.
But like, there is a competition.
Chris, we are no longer
friends.
Yeah,
What's
what
that?
is this? Like, I don't
We're
have
not
like
friends
fancy
anymore.
ice. What is that about?
I can't wait till you guys can come back over and we can drink cocktails, and I will make you old fashions all night, and I will buy your Uber back to Auburn, Luke. Don't you worry. And Sarah, whether you stay over or I get yours back to Syracuse, that's great too.
Don't crash on the couch.
So what you want to do next is you're gonna pour that old fashioned right over the ice. The reason why I love this clear ice is because you basically can't see it. The nice thing about that really big ice cube, my science that I'm going to impart to everybody on this is because there's less surface area on that ice cube, it melts slower and keeps your drink cooler longer without watering down the taste of the drink.
Boom.
Boom. The next part that you want to do is if you've got a little peeler, you know, if you're peeling carrots, Margaret McCormick, if you're peeling that potato that Sarah gave you, you want to use one of these. I like just a simple garnish with an orange peel. The two ways that I do this, I don't have a lighter to kind of flame it off there, but what you want to do is just kind of give it a little bit of a twist on there. I like to then rub the rim of the glass with it. Because cocktails are about using all of your senses too, right? You saw how fun that was to
Totally.
me,
Yes.
I think. You're gonna taste how good it was. It looks great and presentable, but also remember that nose that we talked about with whiskey. You're gonna get a nice nose right off the rim of the glass of that orange peel and that orange zest. Those essential oils Sarah mentioned earlier are gonna come right out, and they're gonna kind of hit you with a blast in the nose.
Awesome.
And then
Chris.
the last,
I gotta cut you. I'm sorry, but I mean, you can finish. We just gotta wrap because I've got hungry people and we're running behind.
Yep. Cool. So the last piece that you got to do is use those cherries that we got in the jar, and you want to garnish that up. Whether you lay it across or you drop it right in there, and
Beautiful.
That's the best old fashioned based out of New York State that you're gonna get.
Awesome.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, so moving on. It's time for food, everybody. I hope you guys are excited. It is now time to move over to Chef Luke Houghton for the first course reheating and plating of the two soups. Luke, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm born ready.
Of
So
course.
I've been over here working this already, as probably some people saw. So we're already hot and ready to go into the bowl. So when
Okay,
you
so
heat this up,
before you get there,
yeah, give me a second.
start at the beginning. I'm just saying.
So I did heat this up on the stove. I did add a little bit of water just to reconstitute it. The two different soups are basically, in my opinion, a great representation of both my personality and Sarah's. I'll let you decide which is which. Sometimes it's both. And we definitely flip-flop a lot.
That's true.
So the cheese part of the soup was an inspiration by like grilled cheese, tomato soup, that's a natural pairing. This soup is actually made with a base of white beans, onions, garlic, and then we pureed cheddar in the end to give it the cheese flavor. So we'll call that the rich, the creamy, smooth soup, let's say, for personality purposes.
He's aiming for that one, everyone. He's aiming.
The other side of this soup is the tomato side, which is a little more acidic, but delicious in its own way. Starts with a base of tomatoes and fennel. There's a lot of fennel in this soup. It gives a nice backbone of spicy flavor. So it's a yin and yang that maybe they're opposite, but they work together well in a lot of ways. So really, the inspiration started with grilled cheese and tomato soup, and went from there. So let's show you a really cool plating technique, because I'm sure people are getting hungry. Once you heat your soup, take it and put it right back in the container. And you want to do them both at the same time.
Some mad chef skills right here.
Yeah. I didn't even make a mess yet.
I know, I'm proud of you.
Okay, so here's the key. You got to go both at the same time.
Okay,
And
wait,
try
move
to-
that bowl back. There you go. There you go.
Can you see
Camera's
it?
good. Yep.
How's that? So, you want to pour both at the same time. If you're a little off, just let it catch up. And you can see as it goes through, you can also turn it a little bit to create that yin yang effect.
Awesome.
So now there you have two soups in one bowl. Two other the garnishes that we made here. This one here is we're gonna call it a cheese puff, but it's essentially rice flour with a little bit of cornstarch that I made a batter out of, and then put a ton of cheddar cheese in, probably an obscene amount of cheddar cheese. And then we just quick fried it. So it's kind of like a crouton, but mochi rice. It's super good. So that's the garnish on the one side. And then the other side, this is a crumble made with almonds and herbs, lemon zest, orange zest. And then you put that on the other side. So now you've plated what appears to be a yin and yang. If you want to get super fancy with it, you can also drag your spoon through and give it even a little more touch to it.
Beautiful.
So there it is. I'll let you guys enjoy that.
Awesome. Any questions about the heating or plating of the soup, please put them in chat. Hopefully you got yours to look just like Luke's, but don't worry if you didn't.
It'll stay, it's all gonna mix together anyways.
It is, but it's kind of interesting if you can taste one and then taste the other and then sort of taste them together. It really does change the sensory experience of things.
I agree.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Luke. While everybody is enjoying their soup, we're going to get back to Barry Spirit from, I think I'm saying your last name wrong, Barry, so please correct me if I am. I really apologize. But we're going to get back to Barry at Two Kids Goat Farm and talking about the Chev. The crouton is in a bag. So there's two small bags of things, and it looks sort of like a little round, dark, puffy ball. Sorry, that wasn't the best description ever. So we're going to Barry next. Chad, are you with me?
I am with you, yes.
Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure that Barry is here.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
I can.
You're close
Yeah.
on the name. It's Sparat, but we'll give you a
Okay.
pass.
All right, I'm sorry. I will fix it from this point forward, I promise.
Barry, the best thing you can do is to speak up as loud as you can, because you're coming in a little quiet. So speak up quite nice and loud, and we should be good.
Well, there's some people in here that know that if I speak up, they're going to hear me. I'm a first generation farmer. Two Kids Goat Farm is the name of our farm. We're in our 8th year here in southern Onondaga County. You're having my Chev tonight, which is our pilot cheese. We started out with making that Chev because I didn't like other goat cheeses I had. Right now we are a multi-species creamery. We milk between 20 and 30 goats every year, as well as a half dozen cows, Jersey cows. I'm making Chev from the goat's milk, and we make about 5 different cow milk cheeses. Chris alluded to one earlier in the chat. I make halloumi, which is a cheese that you fry up in a pan. I just made some for my son, who is just finishing up his evening chores. I also make mozzarella curd and do some fresh burrata. But I'm going to take you on a quick little walk around the farm. We'll see some goats. Hopefully I don't lose you with my connection, but we're going to try this.
Very cool.
So after we're done milking at night, we milk and we chill our milk in a chest freezer and milk cans. And this is basically where my goats run up and we milk them. We run 4 at a time up on a stand. And like I said, we're milking about 20 right now. And this is the cutest thing I have on the farm right now.
Yay!
I don't have any baby goats, but this is Goofball, as my kids call him.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
So he's about a week and a half old, and he's crazy. And then this is my milking does are all through here.
It's awesome.
And they just got done milking. My 10-year-old son does the goat milking, and my 12-year-old son does the milking of the cows in the afternoon. While they're on quarantine break here with no school, they're running the show for me. So that's just our small little farm. And then I have the cows out in another barn. And this is my son finishing up.
Hello.
Hi.
And there's somebody on here that we really miss and haven't seen, and that.
Oh. No, he lagged out. I missed it.
What was that, Sarah?
I'm sorry. Say it again. Who you were trying to connect with that you really miss?
Mary Kuval.
Oh, very nice.
Was an educator at our lovely school in DeRuyter, and
Awesome.
we miss her. And my son, my oldest here, is in her ag program that she started at DeRuyter. We were hoping that
Very
she'd
cool.
be his teacher, but he's now a first-year member of that, so we're proud of that.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to hang out a little bit, Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anybody has any questions or anything, I may come and go from my cheese plant down to the house and put some earbuds in and just eavesdrop if anybody wants to know anything. But I know you said you were running a little behind. I don't want to hold you up.
Actually, no, we're doing just fine. Luke's really quick, so that helps.
At everything.
Yeah, well, okay. So I got a message from Chance a few minutes ago. I'm going to check in with him. Luke, are you ready to do vegetarian?
I could get there pretty quickly if I need to be.
Okay, so let's just try to pivot to that. Barry, if you can mute yourself really quickly for me.
I already got him. You're good.
Perfect, thanks. Kimber, you should have seen a couple of goats. I'm happy if Barry wants to take another walk around, we can, if you want to show more goats, Barry, I'm cool with that. And we will have all of the farm addresses, websites, all of that stuff where you can get all of that. That will all be on our website again on Sunday. After we get through the weekend, we'll have a full farmer list so that you can definitely support these vendors, follow them on Facebook, social media, all the things, and buy their cheese. I hope everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, Kimber. We're Barry. Are you going? Look at that. Can we cut over to Barry? Unmute yourself, Barry. I'm sorry. I'm very demanding. Nope, still not there. There we go. Wait, there you go.
You have to bear with me. I'm a farmer.
You're good. You're doing great.
These
Okay,
are
so
some of
go.
my girls.
Beautiful. Okay, you're making them very happy. In chat, they're saying that how cute they are. You're doing great.
You're not
Okay.
doing a lot of Zoom meetings out there on the farm, Barry?
I think you missed that.
Yeah, I guess not.
Apparently not. Apparently not. All right. So yes, I am on Instagram. I am Sarah T. Hassler on Instagram. And Barry, really quickly, if you're still with me, I think you might have. Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you. If you're still with me.
I can't figure out what's going on with this thing.
Oh, there you are. I
Yeah.
see you. Hi.
Can't hear anything.
Same on Facebook. I have a, you can just search my name.
I am. I don't have anything.
Barry, can you hear me?
You have it on, it's a call, so like.
Luke, everybody is saying how delicious the soup was, just so you know you're not reading chat.
This
But
is
they're
good. I
raving.
did see that a little bit.
Sarah, I
Okay.
lost audio. I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
We can hear you now.
I'm gonna
You can't hear
message
us,
you,
though.
Barry.
Hang on. I found it. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. Do you want to just plug really quickly your social media, where they can find you on the web?
Absolutely. It's all Two Kids Goat Farm, the number 2, on Facebook, Instagram, and our website as well.
Awesome. Maddie just put it in chat for us, so that's perfect. And we will have a listing for all of that. And we are, we're going to get ready to go to Luke. Chad, if you can take over as host for just a minute, I'm going to go find Chance, and I will be back.
No problem.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you so
Barry.
much.
Very awesome. Thank you. I love it. There's a part of me that wants to just give up everything and become a farmer now.
Chad, you can do it.
Yeah.
Corporate world had enough.
You
had
don't
enough
know
of
where
me,
you
and that's what I did.
There's a lot of people out there looking for new professions right now.
Yep. I'm just like, you know what? Maybe all this IT stuff has passed me by. It's time to start raising goats, you know? All right, Luke. The floor is yours, my friend.
Very good. So I'm a little late to the game on this because I think Chance was supposed to go first, but we're gonna rally here. So we're doing the vegetarian portion of this, which is very similar to the meat option, only we used cabbage for our protein. So it is jasmine rice here, and then we have some locally grown red cabbage that was slowly cooked for like 3 hours. A little bit of miso, soy, ginger, a lot of aromatics to kind of give that Asian flavor. So when it comes to plating, just heat up the rice. If you want to do it in a pan, use a little bit of water to reconstitute it. Honestly, I would be remiss if I didn't say that it's probably better heated up in the microwave. But if you do want to heat it up in a pan, by all means, just add a little water and keep stirring. So for this one, we're just going to go rice down. And then, Sarah, can you talk about the bacon jam a little bit? Because I don't really know what you put in that.
Yeah. So the bacon jam is not made of bacon because this was not just, we didn't actually just do vegetarian, we did a vegan dish. So we make the bacon jam with onions that we melt down in some olive oil. Then we fry shiitake mushrooms till they're really crispy, and we cook all of that together with maple syrup, hot sauce. If you're Luke, it's not sriracha, but if you're me, it is. And then a little bit of, there's some tamari in there. I make some vegan Worcestershire. I know I say that wrong. I don't care. going to continue to do that. And just basically cook that down until it's very syrupy and jam-like. So it should add that sweet and a little bit smoky, bacony feel, like regular bacon jam, but vegan.
Yeah,
And we
you're
are
creating all the same flavor profiles, really.
absolutely, and texture, like it should be pretty close. I've had people that really don't like mushrooms at all love that bacon jam. So
yeah.
And then ginger pickled carrots is the finish, right?
Yeah. So what I did, I put the cabbage on top of the rice, and then we finish it with, this is that bacon jam. If you want to look closely at it, it's got a lot of texture to it, but you know, the umami flavors are all throughout this. I was eating this earlier on bread. So we go with a little bit of that, like literally.
That's not surprising to me.
No. Try to get it on top. And then the carrots are not only sweet, but they're also acidic. So they kind of cut through some of the richness of that jam, and just really cleans your mouth up a little bit.
So you don't need to heat the bacon jam, Erwin. You can put that on at room temperature. There's about 47 people that are asking to see the dog, Luke, just so you know.
The dog will make an appearance very shortly.
Excellent. Okay, in the meantime, so the layers of flavor that you're getting with that vegetarian, so you're starting with jasmine rice and then going into the melted miso cabbage, that should be your umami base, and then sweetness from the bacon jam and acidity from the carrots. So you should be going all the way around that flavor wheel. I know that Chance is trying to sign in right now. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That's so sad. Oh, look at that. Thank you. Krupa, I'm gonna message me after and we will make that right for you because no one should be short of bacon jam. I will definitely get you more, I promise. And no, Chad does not seem to be able to eat ever. That's true. Okay, so waiting on Chance here. You don't happen to have any beef you could demo, do you, Luke? Pinch it. I mean, we could talk it through. Okay, so we could talk through it. As Chance is still in the middle of service, and I know he's trying to sign in, but if you have the omnivore course, which I know is most everybody, what you're going to do is, one, you have the written instructions, but two, heat up a pan on the stove. If you have a microwave available, that's how you probably should reconstitute the rice or reheat the rice. If not, follow Luke's method that he did with the vegetarian. Heat up a pan, add a splash of water, maybe a touch of salt, and just bring that back over medium heat. For the beef, you're going to heat a pan over medium-high heat, add in a splash of water, throw the beef in, and then throw the sauce in and stir both together until you get to a simmer with the sauce. And that should coat pretty well. If it appears to be too thick, don't be afraid to add a splash of water. And then the plating for that is plate. Sorry, but we're doing this. Is plate, rice, beef, and that's the dish, Mongolian beef. That one is by Chance Bear, who I hope will be able to pop in here and talk more about it. I know that beef came from Madison Wagyu, that it is flank steak from a local farm. Luke, do you want to talk about Wagyu beef?
Sure. Wagyu beef is the breed of cow that they use for Kobe beef. That is the bloodline. Anything outside of Kobe, Japan has to be called Wagyu. It is grown for its extreme marbling. I would say the fat ratio is like usually like almost 40-60, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's pretty high, but it's actually a leaner fat, so it's healthier for you, even though it's higher maybe content-wise. It seems to melt away a little easier.
Chance has joined the meeting, by the way.
Oh, good.
We're just waiting for the audio to connect.
So one interesting thing about those cows, so in Japan, so those cows are fed on a diet of apples and sake. and the people who tend to those cows, like in the really traditional farms, they massage the cows with, like, I don't know, these large poles, and they spit sake on them first, so they get like showered in sake and then massaged. I don't know that I want to imagine that in any way, so I'm not sure why I told you, but it was in my head, so I had to share. And I apologize.
It's an extreme way to get a product done.
I mean, you know, it's a great story, I suppose, if you really want people to talk about your stuff. Oh, hi, Chance. Can you hear
Chance
us?
is here. I've spotlighted his video. I don't know if we can hear him.
He's connecting to audio right now. He can't hear us yet, but I
His
know he's
audio, let me
trying.
unmute him. All right, Chance, you're on. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there. How's everyone doing? Sorry, I'm a little late.
Good. It's all good.
Super busy today. So let me run this through with you guys really quick.
Awesome.
We'll start with our rice. Little container, not too bright. That's too bright. All right. So we've got our little rice container. I put that in the pan. I've got about a quarter cup of water. I like to use water to reheat because that steam kind of makes it nice and soft and delicious. So it literally takes like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. 1 sec.
You're good. You're good.
It's good to see that they're still busy out there.
They are. Yes, it's awesome.
All right, so by now my rice is nice and warm. See the steam?
Beautiful.
I'm gonna make sure I get a good scrape. And then I got my other pan here. So what I'm gonna do with this one, add a bit of oil. That's gonna heat up pretty quickly. Got a container of beef. And I give that about 2 minutes or so in the pan till you really start to hear a little bit of sizzling. And you get some of that aromatics, and that is just super delicious. And we're gonna add our little container of sauce. A couple good sauces.
So sauce happens right as the beef is finishing, right, Chef? We've had a couple questions on that.
I'm just kind of pushing it along a little bit. But yeah, so about 2 minutes or so, once that beef is nice and hot, toss your sauce in. Give it a couple good tosses so you got a nice coat. You plate it right on top of your rice.
Same thing for cheese. I know he doesn't like to be on top.
And I don't know if you can see that. Lighting's probably terrible. But yeah, you got your little your Mongolian beef. And
awesome.
I think I might be able to join us for the question and answer segment, but we'll see.
It's all good. Do what you can. I appreciate it, Chef. Thank you so much. So thank you. Thank you, Johnson, for popping
Thanks,
in those shots. I really appreciate that. Okay. So any other questions on plating? Here are the optimal plates.
I'm sharing the plate on my screen here for everybody to see. So if you're in the meeting right
appreciate
now,
that.
you should be able to see what that looks like.
Chad, can you do the can you pop up the other one, the vegetarian
the
one as
miso
well?
cabbage. 1 second.
Yeah. So the cabbage looks different because Luke cooked this cabbage in a wedge because he was like, what is melted miso cabbage? And I'm like, I don't know, just do it. And so his is still in a wedge. Mine I did slice with local red cabbage from Common Thread Farm.
So there's your cabbage.
Boom. Thank you so much. Okay, any other questions on the main course? Hopefully you're enjoying that. Our next piece is to go to Phil Aris from Damiani Wine Cellars, which I'm really excited to hear Phil chat. And hopefully he's enjoying his meal as well. Phil, are you ready? Or is your mouth full? Because it's okay. Really.
You want some of this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay.
So-
Can we spotlight him? There we go.
So hi,
Let's
I'm
go get
Phil
some
Harris,
champagne.
Damiani Wine Cellars. Yep, we've got our 2 wines for you. We'll get to them in a minute. We're located on Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes, about 5 miles north of Watkins Glen on the east side. We're, let's see, started in 2004. We're still pretty small. We do about 7,000 cases a year. We're a bit of an oddity in the Finger Lakes because we actually specialize in red wine. Most people in the Finger Lakes tend to focus on whites and Riesling in particular, but we're kind of contrary by nature. That having been said, everyone I work with, if we had to pick our desert island wine to be stuck with for the rest of our lives, we're going with champagne.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's not just for celebration. I like to say it's not just for breakfast anymore. It's perfect for any time of day, in my opinion. So every day the sun comes up is a good excuse to open a bottle of champagne. We of course can't call it champagne because we're not in Champagne, France. So what we make is sparkling wine. What we're pairing with today is our Bollicini, which is Italian for tiny bubbles. Sorry, I'll hold that up there.
Thank you.
I love the label on this bottle. It took like 2 years for me to get this finalized, but once we got it, I'm pretty happy with it. So this is our entry-level sparkler. We make two to four different sparkling wines every year. They're all done bottle fermented. So there's a bunch of different ways you can make sparkling wine. You can do the traditional method, which is to make the base wine in tank or barrel. You ferment it dry, and then you do your blending. You then rebottle with added sugar and yeast, and you don't finish it with a cork. You finish it with a crown cap, a beer cap, and you wait. If you're doing traditional method, I believe it has to be at least 18 months. The yeast will completely eat the sugar and fully carbonate it within probably about 3 or 4 weeks.
I love big
fully
pop.
fermented. What's that?
Oh, there was a pop that just happened. That was brilliant.
Nice. Yeah, I was considering like, should we do a demo and how to open it so no one takes anyone's eyes out? Most important thing about champagne is, for God's sake, serve it at the right temperature. Don't serve champagne too warm.
No, travesty.
Right out of the fridge it's decent for most white wine, but for champagne, pop it in the freezer for 20 to 30 minutes beforehand. Just set a timer so you don't forget, because if you've ever done that and frozen and exploded a bottle of champagne in the freezer, it sucks on a couple of levels, because 1, you got to clean it up, and 2, you lost your champagne.
Yes, sad.
So, but the easiest thing to do is ice bucket, and I couldn't find an ice bucket, so I'm using a pan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, why not? You throw a little salt in there, a little water.
Beautiful.
Fill it down right quick. Yeah, so 38 degrees serving temp for champagne. One thing, when you take the wire hood off champagne, this is where a lot of people get into trouble. Keep your thumb on there. Because depending on the cork size, depending on how carbonated it is, depending on if you dropped it on the floor a minute ago, these things are hand grenades. They're carbonated to 8 to 10 atmospheres of pressure, which turns into about 80 to 90 PSI, depending on temperature. So you might just like be turning to throw that in the trash and that fires out. I know this is my 3rd bottle I'm opening today, so I know this one's not going anywhere. But I've seen servers in restaurants, all they did was take their hand off for a second and boom. So be careful. The other thing is sometimes the corks are too tight. This is a surprisingly difficult thing to get right, getting the correct size cork, the correct pressure, so that it comes out easily. People tend to break them because they're wrenching on them to the side. The best thing to do is grip it as tightly as you can and twist the bottle don't twist the cork. Twist the bottle and you'll feel the cork start inching out. And my favorite thing to do is to go for distance.
Yes.
But for right now, we're being civilized.
I'm a Saber fan personally. Like if you're gonna do it, just do it.
Yeah. Sabering's a lot of fun, but
yeah. It's how I start every
You
family
gotta-
vacation in my family.
Oh yeah, that's how you pick it off.
Yep. Yep.
So pouring the champagne down the side of the glass so you don't lose too much carbonation slowly. You've probably seen the old school style champagne glasses that are like that, like lots of surface area. I don't get that personally because it's just encouraging more of the CO2 to blow off faster. I
Right.
like to keep the bubbles, and sign of a good champagne is it's going to keep bubbling for quite a while.
It's for champagne towers.
Oh yeah, well, oh. So yeah, so one of the reasons I like bottle fermenting the champagne, it's a lot more labor intensive than some of the other ways to do it. Like there's also Charmat method, which is when you do secondary fermentation all in one big tank. So like a 500,000 gallon tank, you basically turn that tank into one bottle with sugar and yeast, and it's pressurized. It's designed to handle that. And then you have to have a counter pressure filler so that you can fill your bottles under pressure. There's also forced carbonating, just the same way, Coca-Cola gets carbonated, is they just chill the liquid down really cold. The colder a liquid is, the more dissolved gas it will accept. So they get it ice cold, force CO2 into it. I find I don't like the texture of the bubbles in those situations. I think that, there's a spectrum in there where, it can be done well or it can be done poorly, but I find they tend to go flat a little faster. And you can't get those like really tiny, delicate bubbles that add to the mouthfeel quality.
Right.
So despite champagne being the most labor intensive, most money losing thing we do in the wine industry, it's a labor of love, but I think it's worth it.
Beautiful.
What do you
Thank you
think?
so much, Phil. So I just want to take just a moment to let everybody know that we are doing, the format has changed a little bit here. We are doing all 3 courses in this main room. And then as soon as the cheesecake has been plated, we will open up your private table so that you can go back and chat with your friends. We found that it was a little bit too much ushering everybody back and forth, and most people wanted to stay in the main room. So for those of you who are pinging us with questions, you will go back to your private tables as soon as we are done with cheesecake. Phil, if you just want to take a minute to talk about the MC squared, and then we will kick it over to Hannah for the cheesecake.
So second line, the MC squared. This is, for lack of a better description, it's our entry-level Bordeaux blend. So MC squared, MCC, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon. We tend to favor Merlot in this particular blend. This is a very fruit-forward, low tannin wine, and it's meant to be. It's basically our go-to every night food pairing wine. So this one's about 50% Merlot, 25% Cab Franc, and 25% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Beautiful. Any questions on the wines? Anybody before we move on to cheesecake and the queen, Hannah Covello? All right, it looks like we're good for the moment. Ooh, hold up. Energy, that one. Do you ship outside of New York? That's a great question.
Oh, we do. Yep, absolutely. And seeing as how everything's cooled down, we're doing very little except shipping these days. Pennsylvania's difficult because they're a difficult state to deal with, but we do ship to many states. If you go to our website, there's a full list of all the states we ship to.
Beautiful.
Thanks for asking.
Yes, and we will again be linking every artisan that that we've featured here tonight, whether they've spoken or we use their products, whatever it is, there will be a listing of their websites as well as their social media so that you can purchase more. And I know that Damiani did a special for Dining Inside Out members, so you guys get 15% off. There's a code, and we will make sure that you get that code.
Bill, how long would you recommend cellaring the blend?
DMC squared?
Yep. Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's gonna last for 3 to 5 years easily. It's more of, I designed that wine to be ready early because we're a very small winery. We're kind of hand to mouth. So we typically sell out of last year's vintage right as the new one gets bottled. So with that in mind, I try and make it open and available up front. So this isn't one that I would put down for too long, not because I don't think it's going to last, but it's designed to taste good up front and be fruit forward. You put it down for a little while, those characteristics are going to change a bit.
Yep. Are you down by the lower end of Seneca by Watkins Glen then?
We're like 5 miles north on the east side. If you know where the distillery is, Finger Lakes Distilling, we're right next to that.
No.
But yeah, we're closer down to Watkins Glen. Yep.
How far from Red Newt?
Newt? Oh yeah, they're pretty close to us. We're
okay.
about 2 miles south of them is our tasting room.
Great. Thank you.
Yep, I go there for coffee all the time.
Uh-huh.
All right. If there are any other questions for Phil, we'll move on.
Sorry, Chad. I've been talking this entire time.
You did a great job. It sounded
and I was
wonderful.
muted. I bet it did. So thank you, Phil, very much. Bollicini is one of my favorite New York State wines. I'm a sparkling fan in general. I think that they should be drunk at every meal, if possible, and not with orange juice. And I appreciate the accessibility of the different levels of your sparklers. So thank you so much, and appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Hannah, are you ready with cheesecake? Because I know you have a very intricate whole to do here. Hannah, are you with me? There we go. I hear you.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, let's do it.
All right. Hi, everyone. So you're in my living room right now, unlike everyone else's kitchen, but we're kind of hanging out tonight. So I hope you're enjoying your dinner so far. I'm going to tilt my screen down just so you can see what I'm doing. Right. So I'm going to plate this up in a couple of different ways, but you can really do anything that your little heart desires. So in your box, you of course have the pieces of cheesecake. You have the syringes, the little pipettes that have the strawberry sauce in them. And then you should have a couple pieces of the rose bark in there as well. So I'm sure many of you have seen the pictures that were taken and put on our website. So you can do whatever you'd like with the sauce. This little pipette has the white chocolate. That's what this is at the tip of it, just to hold the sauce in. If you want to, you can cut it off. However, this chocolate is from Nostalgia Chocolates out of Syracuse, and it is absolutely delicious. So my recommendation is just to bite it right off. Yes, literally
Awesome.
Put the pipette right in your mouth and bite it off. It's absolutely delicious. Yeah, I just did that too. It's so
awesome.
Glad the camera wasn't on me for that, but it's delicious. So I would highly recommend doing that instead of snipping it off. Now, like our picture, you can pipe your dots right on the plate if you'd like. There's no rhyme or reason to plating necessarily. There is, but you can do what you want. So you can put as much or as little as you'd like onto the plate. You can also put it right on top of the cheesecake if you'd prefer, or have it totally off, whatever is your preference. I personally really like the acidity from the strawberries, hence doing strawberry and pairing it with something super creamy like the cheesecake. But you can do it however you'd like. Another technique, you can put a puddle on your plate and then take a back of a spoon and swish it right across the plate. You can do it again if you want. If you're super artsy and creative and have been doing projects in quarantine and have paintbrushes around, you can also make it super fancy that way too. But
Look at
whatever
you
your
go.
preference is, you can do.
Make sure it's not a used paintbrush.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, that would be helpful too. Good point, Luke. You can plate the cheesecake, however, is convenient for you, but I like it right in the sauce. So that way the crust starts to absorb the sauce. And then I like to put a little bit on top as well. We've been eating cheesecake for days in our house, so we've tried it all different ways. And then the bark, same thing. It's meant for a garnish, but you can of course use it in whatever way you would like to. It's delicious on its own. It has freeze-dried strawberries on it, pistachio crumble, and dried rose petals, or you can decorate the cheesecake with it. So similar to the picture, we just sort of offset. It's to attract your eye to it, but whatever you would like to do, you can even save it until tomorrow and have it with your coffee, whatever you prefer to do.
That is not going to be saved till tomorrow. I highly doubt.
I was just
anyone's gonna
putting
have
it
that.
out there. You know, I really wasn't expecting it either. We absolutely love it. The chocolate itself is delicious because it's made with oat milk. So even if you're not a white chocolate fan, it's so good. I personally am not a white chocolate fan, but it's delicious on its own. But then with the cheesecake, it just complements really well. The rose goes so good with the pistachio crust, but it also pairs super well with the strawberries too.
Beautiful. Thank you so much to Tyler Tagwin from Nostalgia Chocolate. So not only is that locally made chocolate, but it's also made with oat milk. So it is entirely vegan as white chocolate, and that is a rarity. And to do that and do it well is incredible. He does an amazing job. That guy is super sciencey on chocolate and very passionate about what he does. I appreciate having them here. And just like randomly, I was like, I need 6 pounds of white chocolate. Can you do it like tomorrow? And he did, and delivered it to my porch. So awesome. Thank you. Awesome, Hannah. Any other thoughts on the cheesecake? Did you want to give away your recipe?
I mean, I'm happy to. If anybody wants it, you can, I guess, message me. Is that probably the best way?
I think we'll put together a compilation of recipes. We've had a few questions about that. But if you do want Hannah's recipe, please say something in the chat. Where can people follow you, Hannah? Because you're
you can find me on Facebook. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook just under my name, Hannah Cavello. And then you can also find me on Instagram, Hannah Cavello. That's my professional page. But I do all kinds of fun stuff. You know, it's not just about baking and sweets, like Sarah said earlier. I love the beverage side of it. Wine's ready to go tonight. A little bit of everything. So I love food and beverage in general. If you have questions or you want any recipes, don't hesitate to ask. This cheesecake recipe is awesome because it stays rich and creamy. You can freeze it. I doubt these pieces will stay froze, but I'm sure you'll eat them tonight. But regardless, this recipe is so convenient for that. The crust is totally gluten-free because it's made out of pistachios. It's a really awesome recipe, I think anyway.
I think it was absolutely delicious. I had some for lunch yesterday and I loved it. You did a great job. I did want to mention, since Hannah had just brought that up, that all of the dishes tonight were 100% gluten-free. The only thing that contained gluten in anybody's box is the bread that Luke made. And that was only included in boxes that received cheese boards or that purchased cheese boxes. So everything else, thank you to all the chefs for going out of your way to make things super accessible for folks with dietary restrictions. And yeah, so that is our final course. I hope that everyone is enjoying their cheesecake. Before we send people to their rooms and then shift into, we're going to take a 5-minute break before we shift into the Q&A for chefs, mostly so that I can get up and get wine because it's far away and I need a minute. But before we do that, I did want to mention a few things in closing. First of all, I just want to thank all of the chefs for your hard work. And beyond the chefs, I have a list of people, and I'm not going to do the whole list, but at the top are Kelly Knapp, Kelly Robertson, Mitchell Berger, Madeline Minicozy. Yep, using your whole name. Obviously, Chad Hassler, thank you so much for checking in with me just yesterday to be like, hey, are we doing this? Is this even happening? Because that's how like just in the weeds we have been. To Hannah, thank you for all of your hard work and driving out to Auburn repeatedly and helping us load cars and do all sorts of nonsense. And Luke, I couldn't do it without you, obviously. Anyway, I wanted to say that, and we will be doing this again. Dining Inside Out has a few other events planned for May because we're nuts. There's just no other way around it. What else have we got to do? I mean, seriously. So we are doing an event for Mother's Day that is a little bit different. Some of these are going to have a bit of a different format. So make sure that you're watching dininginsideout.com and keep an eye on your emails because we will be sending you information as tickets become available. For Mother's Day, Pure and Dining Inside Out are pairing up, and we will be doing a brunch box that you can purchase for mom, and it comes with some stemmed flowers that you can put together a bouquet. And we're going to do a demo on how to put together a bouquet for mom. So really fun. And there's some great add-ons with that as well. Mimosa box and some other, fun, frilly nonsense for moms. That's for next week, which is May 10th. Just in case you guys didn't know, Mother's Day is next week. There's no sense of time anymore. Anyway, also we are doing at the end of the month, I don't have the date right in front of me, but I will get it. We are going to do Dining Inside Out plant-based. So we're going to do 100% vegan Dining Inside Out chef event just like this, with everybody will be having a vegan option, which is really exciting. Both Luke and I are super passionate about vegetables and vegetable cuisine. So it's going to be a really great challenge to do that. I'm excited because we're also going to be featuring vegan teas in a vegan cheese box, which is my vegan cheese company. So yes, I know it's going to be ridiculous. So Mitchell, I hope that you're listening and that you're ready to produce all of that cheese because that's on you, buddy.
Better start
anyway, yeah, you probably should start now, depending upon how many we get. Luke, was there anything else that you wanted to say before we send everybody to their rooms, take a quick break, and then come back for Q&A?
No, I think, you thanked everybody already, but it was very today. I can only imagine how easy you think it is to ship out 300 meals to 300 different places in the matter of a few hours.
Yeah.
It's probably as hard as you think it is. So the team rallied really hard today. We had a few mistakes, but we pulled it together, and I think everyone got their boxes except one person who was out there eating food that we bought from a local restaurant because we couldn't get it to her fast enough. So I just wanted to thank everybody for doing their best to get it out today. And, we work good under pressure, but today we might have had too much time.
I think we did.
And for the people that are, I appreciate the props that I'm getting in chat, but these guys, I just need to point out, just as the tech guy, I'm so proud because after the first event and all the lessons that we learned, they've managed to create this entire event. We figured out the curation and how to get people into the room and have it work. And like my job is the easiest thing in the world. I come in here at 5:50, sign in, drink a bottle of wine, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And I had to do nothing. These guys worked their asses off to pull this off for you guys. So I really appreciate all the hard work. This has just been awesome for me to watch, just to watch this sort of event happening, not only across just kind of our area, but even with people across the country. It's been really cool. So I'm just happy to be a part of it, and super proud of but not only my sister, but Luke and everybody else that's participated in this event, and all of you for coming. It's been really awesome. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Jay, we will no longer thank you.
No, we're done.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm over thanking you. The last thank you that I have is to everyone that joined in with us tonight. We are a very new brand. Obviously, we started up in a trauma in a pandemic, and we have the most passionate and understanding fans. I can't even explain the insane amount of positive feedback and support that we have received from customers. Everyone was ridiculously understanding and excited and enthusiastic, and that just makes everything that we do a joy. And even as introverts, at least Luke and I are, even as introverts, like, we miss serving our guests, we miss our customers, and it's this has been a really great outlet for all of that.
We have a visitor.
Oh, hi, Ruth. So
Okay, we have
everybody that doesn't know, oh, go ahead, Chad.
Can we have a toast to the chefs and all of the people that put them together?
There's John Braun coming in with the toast.
There you go.
There it is.
Everybody raise their hands for Sarah and the team.
Cheers.
Here.
Okay, I need to go get wine. Luke, you should tell the dog story while I'm gone. Chad, you can send everybody to their rooms if they would like to go to their tables. If you want to stay, you're welcome to stay and hang out and chat with the chefs. That is one of the advantages to this deal, is that you get some extra face time with chefs. I get enough though, so I'm taking a break.
All right, sounds good. So I'm gonna open up the room. So as soon as I hit this button, you'll be invited to go back into your room. If you didn't have a room earlier and you want one, I've created a bunch of extra rooms. So just put in the chat who you'd like to sit with, and I will assign you and get you to your table. Or if you know the table that you're supposed to be at and you're not there, just let me know in the chat and I will get you there. I'm going to open those rooms now, and everybody else, feel free to hang out with us. They are open. You should see those notifications shortly.
Chad, this is typically where my wife wants me to have my own private chat room.
Yeah, I don't know if I can help you with that. That's
No,
technology hasn't been able to solve that problem yet.
it was so much smoother than last time. You did a great job.
I think, yeah, I do think that we figured out a better system getting people in.
Yes.
And just having people by name made such a difference in terms of being able to assign tables. So it was definitely much better.
Yeah, it was great.
And Laura Massa, I'm going to get you to your table now because I promised I would do that. Table 9, you are good to go.
I have enough to drink. I shouldn't be around anyway.
And for everybody else that's still here, like I said, if you have a table you want to go to, Lindsay, I'm sending you to table 30 now.
Thank you.
If anybody else has a table, no. And I will, Lisa, I'm getting you now. And then Luke, you can tell the dog story.
All right, so here, I'll have to, he's sitting right here. This little guy kind of fell in my lap about, I don't know, in October. It was actually the second day we had opened the market here in Auburn, and someone had left him tied to the back steps as a puppy, probably about 6 months old. And I guess like it was the end of a crazy week, and you know, my daughter had just gone away to college, so I was empty nesting at the same time. And now he's like the shop dog because I kept him. Kelly found him out back, like in the middle of the day. Everybody's like running around like crazy. And so we found this dirty little puppy and washed him off in the mop stick in the kitchen. And now I got a dog.
You wanted a dog to start anyway.
I've wanted a dog my whole life, but I've never had one.
Luke, Luna Girl is eyeing Root right now.
Oh,
hey, Root,
Luke, you've had a dog. You've had multiple dogs.
yeah, but they were never just mine.
Yeah, I know.
They were always like girlfriends, you know? When you have a dog that's your own,
That's true.
it's a different story.
it's way different.
Hey, Luke and Sarah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm in the mood to host an event and I need a platform to do it on, how could I partner with Dining Inside Out in order to do that?
Oh, what a great plug. Thanks, Chris. So we are accepting, or we are taking inquiries to help people because we recognize that we've learned quite a few lessons and we're still learning them. But we have most of this down to a science. So we would like to help other restaurants and honestly, like we're connecting a birthday party tomorrow for my little brother with a virtual beer tasting that we shipped across New York State. We are available to help. So please email me at sarah@chefsarahhassler.com or check out our website, dininginsideout.com. There's contact information there. And there is an inquiry page. So if you're interested in getting help with your virtual event or you want to turn your restaurant inside out, we can help. And we can do that remotely. So that's available, I mean, anywhere in the country at this point.
Awesome. I think that,
You're a fantastic mediator.
What was that?
You're a fantastic mediator, Sarah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
That's my sister,
that.
by the way.
I know, I can tell. Only the voice, really. But Leslie, right?
we've talked about like a bunch of cool events, like a virtual nightclub, being able to host a virtual wedding on here where Provisions by Pure and Pure Catering can send out their food to people across the country now that we've got it. Virtual Taste of Syracuse and things like that. I'd love to hear, anybody else that's out there that has ideas on what kind of virtual events that Dining Inside Out could host.
Absolutely. If you are looking for help or you got an idea and maybe you want to make it happen, that's what we do. So, okay.
I mean, all the things that is canceled at this point. That
right, fundraisers.
Fundraisers are huge. Yeah, I think there's ways to get around the time that we're in right now, and I think it's going to go on longer than we think. So we should embrace this. But also, like the process, I think we're going to start hosting events where, even when this is all over, say it's away tomorrow, we still have an opportunity to connect people from, who don't live near each other. So we can, connect people from California to New York virtually. And, doing it over a meal, I think is really cool.
So kind of along that same lines, my family, we have a foundation host a fundraiser for cerebral palsies. And usually the big events are either the gala that we host or the 5K. Do you guys have any ideas of how to host those fundraisers virtually? Obviously, you can't do a 5K, you can't do a gala. But that's something
you can do a virtual 5K.
Yeah, you could. That'd be cool.
GoPros, dude.
So my neighbors did the McMahon 5K virtual.
Yeah, you just run wherever you want, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then you log it, but you still pay online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
The issue
People
is
still
most of the
wanna
fundraising is from events surrounding the 5K.
Yeah.
Right.
5K, it's, like you sign up to pay to run, but like the raffles, the
Yeah,
chicken
yeah.
dinners, things like that. If you guys ever have ideas for virtual fundraisers, that's something that I think a lot of people, including my family, would be interested in.
I mean, we can definitely chat about that. I've got some ideas.
So now's the time to grab people while they have money and they're bored.
Right. True.
Yeah.
But yes, there are definitely some possibilities as far as, I mean, you could still do raffles. I mean, you've got to catch people in the moment in a different way. It's not, impulse while you're at the event, but there's other ways to target that. As long as you're hitting, the people that care about your cause, I think you can still make that happen.
I'm going to try something.
Okay.
You think Kelly will notice that I have an empty drink?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Drew. Let's chat later. Really, are you just shaking that and in order? Okay. Too full for dessert right now. Oh my goodness, Margaret McCormick is not going to eat her cheesecake tonight. Hannah, you win. How did that happen?
Can she bring it here? Because Lauren ate both servings of cheesecake.
That's a drive, Chad. That's quite the drive.
I told you it's really good with coffee, really good with tea, plenty of options tomorrow morning, in bed, mimosa, some
Oh, that's a
bollicini
good
that's
idea.
left.
All right.
I know you don't want the orange juice in it, but still, you could have bubbly with it in the morning.
I'm gonna have it later. I just can't eat it right now.
It's okay, Margaret. I didn't mean to publicly shame you. I apologize. I just wanted to give Hannah that win. Awesome. So, okay, we're in it, but we are accepting questions at this point. Maddie, I know you've been watching chat. If you're still with me, will you just let me know if I've missed anything? I've also been watching chat and 2 other screens. This is a very weird world we're living in. But let me know if I've missed any questions. If you do have questions, you're welcome to either put them in chat or unmute yourself, just one at a time. And thank you to everybody who is popping thank yous in there. Yes, beautiful. And again, if anybody wants to move to a private table and hang out with their friends, those private tables are going to be open until midnight. I think I scheduled it, but we can extend that. You're welcome to drink wine as long as you'd like, and then roll to bed. This really removes that whole like unsafe driving thing out. Chad, you got that for Lynette Brown?
Lemos and the Brown family. I don't know which table they're actually at. They're not at table 2, which is where I've been sending them. So
Oh, I think there's just several Browns in that table. Okay, main ones I have. Can we share the recipes? Yes, we will share the recipes. Luke, I'm gonna need recipes.
What's a
from
recipe?
you. What's a recipe? Right, exactly. The number one thing they're asking for recipes for, Luke, is the cheese puff.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we're gonna need that to make. We're gonna need to make that happen. I do have a list of the artisans, and we will be posting that to dininginsideout.com on Sunday. Also on Sunday, you will receive a survey, and again, if you fill out the survey, you will get a discount code for the next Dining Inside Out, and you'll be on the list to find out when all the details on the next one. You can use that discount code for either. I will absolutely get you the bacon jam recipe. You can use that discount code for either the vegan event or Mother's Day. Luke, are you doing something weird over there? Are you messing
Sorry,
with the dog?
I'm walking the dog.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm like hearing all sorts of nonsense, and your photo just keeps popping up. So, awesome. Yeah, bacon jam is so I make both kinds, like with real bacon and also with the vegan mushroom thing. And I'm not sure which one I like more. It really depends on the day and the mood. So Hannah, I'm going to ask you a question. How was this experience for you? Like dining virtually and then also being a chef virtually?
Yeah, so both were really cool experiences. Obviously, the prep that's led up to this has been exciting in a time when everything else has been really minute at this point. Going from restaurants to nothing is a crazy change. So being back in a kitchen is awesome. But then to be here and dining, it was really exciting. Like all night we've been zipping back and forth between our living room and our kitchen and heating things and getting things ready and trying to plate appropriately and enjoying right here in our living room. It's pretty cool. We certainly in our house have not been out very much and miss that contact so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
I totally understand. Even as an introvert, I understand.
I do think plating at my little coffee table, my palette table in my living room is kind of weird, but that's okay.
No, it totally worked. I thought it was beautiful. The camera angles were perfect. You were on point.
Hey, we're trying, you know. But no, I mean, aside from I don't normally bake in the living room, I'm okay with all of it.
I get that. Totally. It's weird to do an entire event from my home office, which is also my yoga room. So weird. Just, you know, like, all right, what do I do? Should I change the background? I don't know. They're gonna notice if I like do the space sky thing. Like, what's you trying to hide?
We fluffed pillows 100 times. Luna didn't know where to go, if she should be in the shot or not. We've been a little
to come inside.
That's great.
Yeah, she was outside for the entire pickup session and said hello to almost everyone who came. And by hello, I mean she just laid there and looked at them like, "What do you want?" And then attacked dogs as they walked by. So yeah, it's been an intense day for Kitty.
300 people plus in her house right now. Too much for her.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, she's queen. She doesn't need any of this. But we did have more people than last time, and across the entire country, which is awesome. Shout out to Amber King, who was joining us from Montana. That's amazing. I'm totally curious as to how you found out and all the things. So we will be asking you that in the survey. Just be ready for that. Luke, what questions do you have?
April's friend.
I think it is April's friend. We put them in the same spot. So yeah, that's probably how she heard.
Yeah.
Dinner service finally slowed down a bit.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi. Finally slowed down a bit, so starting our cleanup now.
Nice.
Boy, that was incredible. Great show of support from our local community.
Very cool. Very cool. So first question up in the chat is, are we Top Chef fans? Anybody a Top Chef fan?
I used to be, but then it's all drama now.
I agree.
I stopped watching after the Voltaggio brothers. Like that was the end for me.
I'm still listening to the mainstream. I know.
Chad, maybe Lou wants to be pulled into a different room. I don't think he knows he's not muted.
I actually interviewed for the show 3 times. One interview was for the season with the Voltaggio brothers, season 7.
Oh, that's cool.
Season 4 and season 10.
I mean, you got to say, like, it's probably like out of all the dumb cooking shows on TV, it seems pretty good, unless you guys have other opinions.
I mean, I feel like I don't like to watch cooking shows because I feel like I'm at work while watching them. So like it stresses me out. I personally like to watch the Great British Baking Show because I don't bake and it's super soothing.
Love the Great British Baking Show.
Oh, good. See, and you do bake, so there it is.
I love it. It's a little different baking though, because it's not here. So things are slightly different. It's very cool to see their recipes. I get excited about it, and most baking shows don't get me as excited as that one does.
So my daughter just went,
yes, exactly.
I do miss Mary Berry though.
No, see, I really like Prue.
She's cool.
I don't know. Mary Berry was just so snippy.
She totally was.
Even better, if you watch Nailed It, you can make fun of people.
I can't look at that, Barry.
It's like the cooking show I like to watch.
That stresses me out so much to watch people fail. I just like it. It's oh my god, it's the worst thing. Cringe. Just I can't even.
So I'm on Zoom a lot for work, and this is not due to cooking. Well, maybe, but this is the first Zoom I've had all day without triple chins. Damn.
Work it. You do you.
It's all about the angle of the camera.
Yep. Oh, you got bourbon now? What are you drinking, Luke?
Jim Beam, my go-to.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, Marissa.
Hi, Uncle Luke.
You're famous now.
Huh?
You're famous now.
Oh.
Marissa, why don't you tell people what you like to bake?
I don't know. Ooh.
What do you mean you don't know?
I think I don't think. She's Maris.
Oh, sorry.
She's been talking to Get Us Bakery.
I know, I saw it.
I know, thank you.
I suppose I have something to do with it.
You do. Yep.
So Marissa is my niece, and the other day she was like, I need to make money, and I'm like, well, why don't you just start like selling virtual birthday parties to all your friends? So the next day she's texting me all this stuff like, how do I take money? How do I take credit cards? And she goes out to like a local bakery and like tries to get them to bake cakes for her.
I mean, Maria's in this chat. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Maria, we might have something going here.
There could be a connection.
And it's a Camilla's connection too.
There you go.
Yes.
Marissa, you're-
baked. I'm here for it. Christmas. Those Italian cookies, they make themselves.
So, Chelsea, I just wanted to mention that, so the Nostalgia White Chocolate that he did for us this time was a special blend because Tyler is amazing. But we do sell Nostalgia Chocolate at Pure Market and Eatery when we reopen. Right? And he does do white chocolate bars.
Cycles. Sorry, I'm gonna lose my headphones here.
What is?
Can you hear me?
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I just wanted to say, sorry, my AirPod, I'm chaining now. He does do white chocolate release bars like every few months. And the one that is pina colada is pineapple and coconut and vegan and incredible. Like one of the best. You only need like this much and it's just heaven. Are we going to be involved in the Salt City Market? Not as far as we know.
No. Although I think the founder of that was here tonight, actually. No,
Yes.
I mean,
maybe.
She bought a ticket. I know that.
Oh, pina colada cupcakes at Maria's next pop-up. That's awesome.
So I actually have to sign out for the evening. I have a ton of work I got to finish up. But thanks for thanks for
good,
having
Chance.
me.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm always such a cluster with between the pizza shop and the restaurant. But it was great actually talking to you guys and seeing you. Thanks, everybody. So, have a
Thanks,
good night,
Chance.
and cheers.
Thanks, Chance.
Chad, that's really awesome. We should share that gift that you made.
Yeah, I really feel like that GIF embodies kind of the food is, I mean, I'm not trying to take away from the food, but like this is what people are looking for is connection. They want to sit at home and eat and drink and hang out with friends. And that GIF kind of embodies that. So you can send it
So
to
Chad,
me.
yeah, please do. Chad just scrolled through the screen of private tables and the connections that are being made and the people that are chatting together. And it's really just awesome to see. Can we talk about GIF versus GIF for a second? Does anybody actually say GIF?
Okay, thank you. I actually want to say GIF because that's just how I think of it. And every single person tells me that I'm wrong and it's GIF. And I'm the tech guy. But I'm like,
I
no,
think it should be GIF.
You do? Well, never mind.
I do.
I definitely
Well, I'm
said
not the
GIF the other day though, so
Yeah,
I'm with
right,
you,
well,
Chad.
It feels like GIF.
I was with the peanut butter too. I was on that track.
I think graphic something.
Right. So that's where people get they get hung up because they're like, Chad, it's graphical interface whatever, or graphical image format, I think is what it stands for. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but when I see GIF, I say GIF. That's just how it's like how
that just makes me think of peanut butter.
It's how you pronounce Worcestershire. Is that what happened?
Worcestershire.
Isn't it Worcestershire?
I know it's like Worcestershire or what. I can't do it. Like,
Worcestershire.
You gotta kind of stutter in there.
You're freaking British, Sarah.
I know, but
You're
I can't
freaking
do
British. You can't get this right.
I'm sorry. I really want to pronounce all the syllables, and whenever we meet like an actual British person, they're very upset. I'm sad because I use it in so many things, so I have to say it. And when I have to tell a cook, and they're like, "You want what?" Like I have no idea. I'm sorry. The
I don't
W
know.
bottle. Get the Lee and parents. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much. All right. Any other questions we've got going on in here? Maddie, you're doing a great job, even though you look creepy. So, you know.
I got a text message about that. What was that about?
About what? About you looking creepy?
No, Maddie.
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Maddie, are you cruising over here for like, is this speed dating happening here?
She said that she looks like an international spy.
Mm. Anne did. Yeah, I saw that. She does actually. Awesome. All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I mean, that rounds out our night, which is very exciting. I don't know, Chad, I'm sorry. Anyway, so thank you all so much for coming. We will be doing more of these as our brand grows and our crazy business model gets better and we get better at figuring all of it out. Luke, was there anything else that you wanted to say before we go to the chef's table?
No, I mean, if anybody has questions or they want us back, we're gonna hang for a while. But we appreciate the support, and like, this is very new to all of us, and I assume it is to you too. So, you know, we appreciate that people are active in this, and we're gonna keep on going as fast as we can. Maybe not tomorrow, but the day after.
Not tomorrow.
And not tomorrow. We need a break.
Not tomorrow. Yes.
But you know, we, Sarah, myself, Kelly, we always put 100% into everything we do. So, you know, we appreciate that people are supportive.
Absolutely.
And from that, I will see. This is what's great about having a closed restaurant, though.
Oh, I'm dying.
He doesn't even
Okay.
He doesn't care that he's losing money.
They clean.
No shit. So, Luke, I gotta do a house party with your daughter right now, so I'm gonna go.
With my daughter?
Yeah, your daughter. She's house partying with me. So, yeah. So, thank you, everyone.
Bye, Leslie. Thank you.
See you guys.
Hi, Les.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, look, bigger screen.
Sarah, thank you for having me again. Appreciate it. It was fun. This is unique. It's crazy. I didn't know what to expect, but if you want me back next month or down the line, let me know. I got a couple questions on halloumi and Chris blowing that up. That doesn't help. That'll just make me busier.
That's good. That's good. You need it right now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming, Barry. We really appreciate it. That was awesome to do a virtual tour, or like a tour. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get to your farm, so that was super cool to see.
It was so cool.
I had like 5% battery and like on my phone. So I was like, I'm gonna die here. I got back, plugged my phone in and it died.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So we just
I totally
made it.
understand.
So-
Good. Awesome. Awesome.
But yep, thank you very much. And you guys have a nice evening. My bedtime.
I understand. You're all good. Thank you so much, Barry. Cheers.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.
I wanted to talk shit about two.
You want to talk what?
I wanted to talk shit about him not charging his phone, but then my headphones died like 2 minutes ago. So
I've been chaining for the last like 15 minutes or so.
yeah,
Putting
I
one in the
almost
charger.
threw out. I'm like, Chad, what's that beeping noise?
Oh my God.
It was
Although,
my
I mean,
headphones.
yes, I know the sound very well. Don't worry. There was somebody who was chatting earlier who was talking who just
I've
had,
never
it sounded like
worn
a microwave beeping in the background. Did you hear that? That was making me insane. Anyway,
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
I think or you're experiencing some lag over there, maybe. But okay, so yeah, all right. I think it's mostly people we know now, with a few stragglers. But yeah, all right.
Why don't we go to the chef's table and invite everybody else to the chef's table?
We can do that. Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you eat, I'd love to eat. Can you? What are you eating?
I'm eating all the food that you made. Lauren's bringing it to me in waves.
Oh, that's nice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
I'll say your
Bye, guys.
Thanks for your help, Molly. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Molly. Love you guys.
Oh.
Mix it out.
Mom, are you gonna say bye?
Are you gonna say bye?
You're gonna... Bye, Ann.
Bye.
Bye. Good.
Bye,
Okay.
thank you.
Bye, Maria.
That
Thank you.
Mongolian beef, though, so good.
Great,
You
thank
guys
you.
were
Good night.
awesome.
Good. I'm glad that you enjoyed.
I loved it all. The soup, the Mongolian beef. I have to have my dessert. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
That was
Keep
the
doing
best.
great with your pop-ups, and we will talk on Wednesday.
I mean, I've been eating the kids dried up like goldfish crackers and dino chicken. This whole, so that was like,
I'm so glad to hear that. I totally understand.
No, I love you guys.
I'm switching.
All right, thanks, chefs. We're gonna peace out.
Here you go, baby.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry, headphones chaining. It's a nightmare. All right, Chad, will you do me a favor and assign, actually, can you take me and, I want to join table 30.
Table 30.
Luke, is there anybody that you wanted to go and say hi to?
I think April left.
Did she? Okay. Is April Deas still in chat, Chad?
She was at Mixer 2 or 1. I don't see her.
With Amber. Yeah, she might have left.
Yeah, I think they left.
Oh, so she wasn't. She was with that girl. They weren't friends though.
No, they asked to be together. And then Amber was saying something about she missed Syracuse. So I don't know.
Well, maybe they are friends. I don't know.
But they asked to sit together, so I would assume that they are friends.
I thought there was a mix.
Well, a mixer table just means that it was a table that we added after.
Oh, gotcha.
Maddie, how was your, why don't you tell us about your driving experience? How was that?
Okay.
Your face is saying everything right now.
Like really good.
You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
First of all,
we could have some.
Thanks, Kim and Jake. Bye.
I'm feeling that carb feeling.
Maddie, tell me all the things. Chad, mute yourself. Sorry.
Oh, I'm still up? I didn't know.
Oh, you're good. You're
Demands. All right, Maddie, tell me everything.
All right, Little Falls. That's it.
What?
I said
What
Little
did you
Falls.
say? Little Falls?
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Oh, it was that bad?
It was a cliff. I needed a rope. I needed a rope to get up the hill. It was like a really small, like tiny road, and it was like going up the side of the fall.
Oh, it sounds like
And I
you
was
going to
like,
host a wedding there.
No, I called Mitch and I was like, I don't think this seems right. Is this a real road? But
Oh my God.
I don't think I've ever been to Little Falls. So
Neither have I.
no. It's really pretty. So, yeah. And then I had to retrieve a box from the wrong person's house. That was fun. I could see them in the window. I could see them in the window, and their dog was barking, and I like ran up and I grabbed the box, and then I didn't turn my car off so that I could leave. I grabbed the box.
I wish we had taped that. That would. That
Wish I was
amazing.
with you,
I'm
man.
aware of GoPro.
I want all of that. I want all of that on tape, please.
It was so. Sarah, I was on the phone with you. I was like, I gotta go grab this really quick. Sarah, don't hang up.
I mean, I understood, but I still wanted the visual.
Everybody was home.
That's so funny.
Mitchell Berger, welcome to the channel. You should tell us about your day as dispatch. We'd love to hear that.
I did not see you half the fucking night.
I wasn't. I was over
Kelly, Anne, you're screaming the F word, and that's just that's a big mute on Kelly Knapp.
Mute her.
Mute Kelly Knapp. And we can hear you on Luke's mic now. Put the bourbon down. What did you give her? Dude, what did you give her?
I didn't. Give who?
Who was that? Is that Anne? Who's yelling?
Yeah, she just showed up here.
Oh my God.
Anne. She just showed up here.
Why?
She's been doing the experience at home, and now she decided to show up.
It's a virtual dinner.
I get it. But when you live next door.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my goodness,
Hey,
Mitchell
Mitch.
Berger making an appearance.
Mitchie.
Hi, guys. How is everyone?
How are you is the question.
Oh, I'm killing it right now.
How is what are you drinking? Water and apple juice? Like, tell me.
It's just a combination of water, ginger, lemon,
God.
maple syrup,
Turning up.
and
You
just
died.
like everything you need. Maybe a little tequila. Who knows?
There's no tequila in there.
There's no tequila
There's
in
no
there. We
tequila.
all
There's no
fucking know
tequila.
that. I'm sorry.
Just more water.
There's just
Yeah.
more water. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did a couple shots of water to add it to it.
You thought about agave and you called it tequila.
Is this our special room?
So this is the main room, but we are mostly here with pretty much, yeah, we're only here with people that we know.
So who we got? We got Maddie. We got.
Oh, you got to check.
Kelly.
You got to check. You got
Kelly.
Kelly Knapp. You got Kelly Robertson in here.
Why is Kelly not showing her face?
Yeah, Kelly Robertson, why are you not showing your face? Can we talk about this?
Kelly.
Yeah, where's Kelly? I don't see Kelly.
Kelly Knapp is right there. There's Kelly Knapp's face.
Kelly Knapp.
drinking.
And her bottle of bubbly. There it is.
Hi, Kelly.
I gave Ellie a mommy.
This is just like the restaurant. You end the night and just all sit around and drink.
I mean, pretty much it. Yeah. Or at the end of a wedding, like, all right, we just got back.
You can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hey, Maddie, do you have any light
All right,
in your
Rose,
house?
do those
or what's
dishes
going
while
on?
we
in the
start
back.
drinking.
Why is it
Sorry,
so dark
Rose.
in there?
Yeah, Maddie, can we talk about like why you're in a dark room?
Yeah.
See, it was bright when I first started, and I just didn't get up to turn something on.
I can't even tell if your hair is
Yeah.
red right now.
I'll turn a light on.
And
Okay?
she does this during meetings too. Like it's always just
Maddie,
the
all
bottom
you
half of her
see
face.
is like
It's
the
just
bottom
like-
of
it's
your
like this.
eyeballs down.
Like this.
Can we talk
Yeah.
to her?
Oh, there you go.
She does this during professional
Maddie,
meetings, and I'm
you
like,
look like
oh,
an
24.
international spy.
Turn the
Yeah.
light on.
It's because she has such nice teeth, you know?
So you don't have a comment.
Did they turn your power off?
Yep, I lost
Yeah,
my
Maddie,
power.
Are you with no power
Maddie,
right now?
it's because you live over in the ghetto.
Oh, what? I
Listen.
live next to her, near her.
You're like on a different street. She's on the ghetto street.
No.
Oh,
Oh
she's
my
got
God.
Christmas
This
lights,
is
but she
Syracuse.
doesn't
It's
have
like
any
ghetto,
heat or water.
friendly.
Or,
Ghetto.
This is my light source.
It's Kelly.
Look how romantic.
Hi, Johnson.
Oh, hi.
Did we get put in the chef's room or is this the,
This is just the hangout room right
Look
now.
at John. Chris. No hair.
You're in the main room, right?
Yeah, we're in the main room.
I swear to God, if either one of you comment about my hair, I'm driving out to Auburn and putting an ice sculpture
Are
in
you
front
gonna
of
drive to Auburn and stab me?
Is that Maisie?
Hi.